What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for all you rascals and rapscallions out there. Now, sorry if I look a little haggard right now. I am so tired. Yesterday was an IWE TV taping up in Houghton Lake. As you guys know, I work second shift, so I had to go directly from work to Backwoods Bam Grizzlies. Shenanigans ensued, lack of sleep, to the show last night. Long road trip with some of my best friends. But didn't get back till super late last night, and here we are, lazy Sunday. I plan on just chilling, having a good time. But what I have for you today is a movie I actually watched Thursday night that I've been meaning to do a little review for, and that is 2015's Funhouse Massacre, directed by Andy Palmer. Now, it's funny, I was going to start a lot of this by saying, like, oh, I don't review newer movies. Like, this isn't that new, and like, in my terms of what's new, I was thinking about, like, all the movies I watch are from the 90s, or 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, like, the 80s were, like, 40 years ago, so, like, I still consider I Know What You Did Last Summer, like, a newer horror movie. That was 20 years ago, but, anyways, I was kind of surprised to find out this was Scream Factory, because I am more used to them releasing, titles from the 70s, 80s, and so on, but, just a standard set, not a collector's edition or anything. But I kind of had my eye on this for a while, and I want to point something out, which is really great about Scream Factory that I've been saying for years now, the reversible artwork. This was on my radar for a long time, and this is the original artwork, which is cool, interesting, right? But I love, like, the animated styles they do for a lot of their covers. When I flip this one over, it's like, oh yeah, that's way cooler, right? At least in my opinion. Either way. Okay, so we'll get right into this movie. Like I said, 2015. In a nutshell, we got all these killers up here. You see, these are all the wackos. So the storyline pretty much goes, this girl right here, like clown face or doll face or something, she goes into this mental institution as like an investigator of everything or whatever, like, getting notes and reports and stuff, office work. And, she's actually in disguise from someone else, and her whole plan here is to release all the inmates. Which I must say right off the bat, Robert Englund does have a cameo in this beginning part. He is the runner of the insane asylum, and he did really good. It makes me remember, man, he's not just Freddy Krueger. He's actually a really good actor. But I digress. I don't want this to be a 30-minute video of me ranting, which it feels like it will be. But anyways, so all these lunatics get let out of the mental institution. They all have different kind of quirks about them. Like, one guy's like a killer dentist. One guy is he kills people and he's like a taxidermist. And you got the psycho clown, so on, so on. A bunch of fun characters, and they get led to this fun house on Halloween night, and they're gonna just go on a murder spree. That's pretty much it. Nice, simple horror movie. That's pretty much what this whole movie is. They add a little twist in the end, which I feel isn't necessary, but it was okay. So we get a bunch of characters, obviously, in the beginning. They're all very generic, 80s characters. You got the slut, the jock, the nerd, all types of stuff like that. And they are going to go to this funhouse on Halloween night. And that's pretty much the first act, learning about these characters, the killers, and the teenagers alike. So they make it to this fun house, and chaos ensues. So pretty much, I'm going to tell you guys what I like and dislike about this movie. And let me know if you ever want to see me do more classic horror reviews, which I notoriously do more on movies I really, really love. This is kind of a first-time watch, but the classic horror reviews are more spoilers, in-depth, a good 20, 25 minutes maybe of talking about the film, where I try to keep these ones a little more short with no spoilers. With that being said, I really like the gore. Obviously, you guys know I'm a practical effects guy. 80s horror. The gore was top notch. You see people get their heads ripped off, heads squished, all types of stuff. So I'm a big fan of that. I like the cinematography. It was shot pretty well. Certain killers, like this doll girl, was very fun and entertaining. This is one of the lead guys too. This wacko guy, he was kind of fun. But, yeah, other than that, I mean, the movie flowed pretty well. I'll just be real with you guys. This was a pretty average horror movie. But when it comes to newer things from 2015 on, I really liked it compared to a lot of other films. This had the right heart, if that makes sense. Like, it was a throwback to 80s slashers, but I'm not gonna like go on too much about it because like I plan on reviewing the movie The Barn that was made around the same time, and it's a throwback as well. And when you compare the two, you could tell the difference. The Barn was a passion project, where this, not to say it wasn't, this just didn't hit as well as that one did. And that's where I get into the negatives. The characters, they were fun because they were kind of generic, like I said, but you didn't really care about any of them. Like I didn't invest in any of them. I didn't care if someone was to die. And like the final girl we have, I don't think she said a single word until halfway through the second act, which I'm like, come on. And then we have like the lead character, which I do like a character arc where he's kind of like a dork and he's wanting to ask out the final girl and he doesn't have the guts. And then he has to find the courage later on. That's a classic like trope in any movie, especially horror. But we also had a cop. There was a female cop and a male cop. The male cop was like a rookie or something, and he was a coward about everything. And it kind of, I didn't like that, like one of the cops and the lead guy were both cowards. And I like comedy in my horror more than the next guy. I love it. But it got a bitch. Sorry guys, I can't talk today. But it got a bit much. I'm like, come on, let's go one way or the other. I want to see somebody be a little more heroic. Other than that, I'm going to sound really nitpicky because it's a newer horror film, but I felt like the final showdowns with a lot of these killers weren't as epic as they could have been. You could have gotten a lot more out of them. And probably my biggest gripe about this movie, which this is really just picking at it, I felt for a movie that's in a funhouse, though it had a fun atmosphere in the funhouse, which I got to add a fun little part about this is while these killers are killing all these people in the funhouse because they have their own like little sections, like the dentist area for the crazy dentist, all these kids think it's part of the show, which is kind of funny. I didn't know really how to feel about that, but anyways, I'll just say for a movie that takes place in the funhouse, like I'll literally reference the movie Funhouse from the 80s, Tobe Hooper. That had such good cinematography and atmosphere and colors and vibe. Like you felt like you were at the show. Where this one, not so much. I felt they could have shown a little more of the amusement park. Maybe it was a budget thing. I don't know. And the biggest thing for me, I'm a huge Halloween fan. The movie and the holiday, but I'm speaking of the holiday here. For a movie shot on Halloween, it didn't feel like Halloween enough. I know people were in costumes and stuff, so that was a lot of fun, but I mean, like the movie Trick or Treat, you can embrace the spirit of Halloween and can really make an average movie into an all-time classic. So that's something else. And I know it sounds like I had more criticisms than positive remarks. That's not to say this movie isn't good. Like I said, it just had a lot of potential, so I'm just pointing out what I didn't like. I could be a bit of a movie prude, but at the same time, I could throw on any movie and enjoy it. And that's what this is. This is a very fun movie. If I had not just average friends. It sounds like they're not good friends. I'm talking like some of my friends who are not into horror so much. They might not want to watch Dawn of the Dead that took place in the 70s. It might be a little slow for them or boring. Whereas I really like the story. But something like this might be a little more fun for people, like guests and stuff. So in that sense, like this is a good movie here. I will say it's a good movie because critiques aside, I did enjoy the movie. I thought it got a little slow into the second act, and like I said, the characters were a little bland to my liking, and they could have done a little more with the atmosphere. But other than that, the gore was top notch. Besides the part in the second act that it slowed down, like the first and third act, it flowed pretty well. Hour and 30-minute movie, not too long. Some fun cameos in here. Yeah, I recommend this movie. It wasn't much, and I'm sure you can find it on some of your streaming sites you guys use. I don't stream anything unless one of my friends hooks me up with their code. But yeah, that's just a little review of this movie I wanted to give you guys. I wasn't even gonna make a video today, and I said, F it. Let me throw it out there. I like to be consistent, so you guys know I trying to put my videos out on Sundays now. And anyways, yeah, I hope you guys like this little review here. I'm not going to give it a rating or anything. I'm just going to say if you are a horror fan, it's worth watching. This might be more catering towards a casual horror fan in a way. Top-notch gore, again, I'll say that. I can't not say that again, but... And good comedy, to be fair. I was kind of shitting on it being too comedic, but this is pretty funny. It just doesn't blend as well as I'd like it. But I would recommend this to any horror fan or any casual fan. This was a fun movie. Definitely check it out. Cheap on Amazon if you want to check this out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And other than that, I want to give a shout out to Craig Stossel, who watches my videos. He's going to be making a YouTube channel sometime soon in the future about retro games and stuff. This guy has a crazy collection, and you're going to love it. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Other than that, tell me if you've seen this movie before, what you think. What's your favorite horror movie from the last 10 years? And do you have any suggestions for maybe horror movies that are kind of retro, like that were made in the last 10 years but kind of take place back in the day? Because, you know, that's my bread and butter. That's the stuff I love. But other than that, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, Blood, Guts, Gore. I will check you guys next time.